This is the Easy Betting Show. My name is Easy, and this is probably the most unprofessional show that you will watch. But, I don't know, I think that makes it better, right? We're talking about the MLB today. I know it's a little late for an episode, but I'm just kind of trying different spots in the day to kind of see, what works the best for me, what works the best for y'all, what works the best in general. So yeah, that's why it's different today. Eventually we will find a time and kind of hammer it down to that exact time. But until then, it's going to be a little bit sporadic. So I do give a heads up on my Twitter, which is what's on screen. So give that a follow if you kind of want a heads up, or just subscribe. I think YouTube gives you a heads up also. So, the button's free. Just click it, pretty simple. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm going to talk MLB today. I don't have a ton of plays today. I think I have like 8, which for me is not a ton, but for other people might be. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Bet the ones that you want to bet. Also have my home run bets at the end, like I always do. The lotto, a little bit smaller one if you want to water it down a little bit, and so on. So yeah, should be fun. I'm going to get right into it because I don't like talking all that much. So going to get right into the plays. Like I said, I have 8. I have some team plays today. I also have some player props and then the home runs. The first one that I'm going to give out is Phillies minus 2.5. That's plus 128. I'm putting a unit on that one. Obviously that is an alt line. I went to minus 2.5 instead of doing the minus 1.5 to get plus money on that. Just because I feel like this is probably going to be closer to a blowout. I think the Phillies are going to score a lot of runs today. And so I wanted to get plus money on this rather than taking the minus 1.5. That was like minus 130 still. So obviously you can water this down a little bit and take the minus 1.5. I just like getting the plus money here. The reason I like the Phillies so much is because they're going against German Marquez today, who hasn't really seen a lot of work in the last couple of years. He's only really pitched a few games. But when he did pitch, he got beat up pretty bad. And it actually gets even worse when he's gone against the Phillies in his career. Pretty much everyone on the Phillies roster is hitting at least 250 against him. And I think all but like 2 are hitting 333 or better against him. The Phillies love to hit this guy. Now, granted, a lot of that was probably in Colorado, but I don't think it's really going to matter. They just see this guy really well, and I think they're going to light him up. And then pitching for the Phillies is Christopher Sanchez, who he was good enough to be an all-star last year. He did have a lot of good stuff. And while he did have a good season, he did give up a lot of hits. They just tended to get out of it a lot. So I think the defense behind Sanchez is going to have to be good in this one. But the Phillies do have a good defense. So I think that's going to kind of help him out a lot like it did most of last year. And I think the Phillies cruise here, which is, 2.5. They have to. So like I said, if you don't like the 2.5, take the 1.5. I think it's a great bet. Staying in that same game, I'm going Kyle Schwarber, 2+ bases. This is even money. So I'm going to put a unit on this one. Schwarber's 6 of 14 in his career against Marquez. He's one of the guys that hits him very well. He's also got a double and 2 homers off of him in his career. So he just sees Marquez really well, at least in his career so far. He's also hit fairly well so far this year, but he only has 1 extra base hit so far. So I think this is going to be a chance for him to kind of open it up and get some power into some of the hits like he hasn't really been able to do other than the 1 home run he's had so far this year. Another 2+ base guy that I like is Tyler O'Neill. I have him 2+ bases. He's plus 125. So I'm throwing a unit on that one as well. He is 0-2 in his career against Sean Newcomb, who is going to be pitching today against them. But I still really like his chances today for a few reasons. For one, Newcomb is a lefty pitcher. And last year, O'Neill was pretty good against lefties. He hit 313 off of them with 16 homers and 8 doubles, which is much better. Well, not much better, but substantially better, I'll say, than he was against righties. And on top of that, Newcomb is much worse pitching to righties than he is lefties. And then another reason that I'm just going to throw in there because I really like this stat is Newcomb also throws his 4-seam fastball almost 50% of the time when he's pitching. And that's Tyler O'Neill's best pitch to hit He makes contact on it almost 60% of the time when he's thrown a four seam, and his OPS is almost 600 against the four seam, whereas every other pitch is under right around 4 or under 4. So it's just a really good matchup for O'Neill here. And I think even though he hasn't really done well in his very limited stint against Newcomb, I think that changes today, and I think he gets a hold of one. The next one that I'm going to do, Fernando Tatis stolen base. This is plus 370. I'm putting half a unit on this one. He already has 3 on the year, and he's getting on base pretty much every time he goes up to bat. So I think he's going to have numerous chances to have a stolen base in this one. On top of that, Luis Ariz hasn't really gotten a hit yet this year. Obviously, that changes. Actually, I think it changes today. Foreshadowing a little bit, but yeah, and he's going up against Ortiz early today in this one too, which he should definitely be able to get a hit or two off of. So I think this is a really great spot for Fernando Tatis to steal a base here. And at plus 370, I was pretty surprised by those odds. I think it's a bet that you have to at least have something on. Same thing for this next one. I'll have Victor Scott, the second stolen base. This is plus 520. I'm putting half a unit on this one too. Plus 520 is crazy odds for a guy that already has 3 stolen bases on the year. I know he doesn't get on base a lot. He's not a great hitter. And this is a lefty-lefty matchup for him against Tyler Anderson. But Scott doesn't hit lefties horribly. Actually, last year he was better against lefties than he was against righties, which for a lefty hitter is weird. But yeah, he hit like 200 against lefties, and I think he was like 118 against righties or something. Neither one of those numbers are great, but you know, it's a little bit better. But I think the best chance for Scott here is going to be to try to take a walk. Tyler Anderson tends to have a walking problem in his starts. I think he averages like 3 or 4 walks a start for him. So I think Scott will kind of sit back, be looking for the walk, especially since he's later in the lineup. And then once he gets on, then he'll be looking to steal pretty much right away. And yes, Tyler Anderson is a lefty, so it's a little bit harder to steal on lefties, but he's extremely fast. And I think that's kind of what he does for this lineup. So he's going to want to try. The main reason for this bet is it's plus 520. I just feel like you have to throw it on there for plus 520. Next one is Michael Soroka over 3.5 strikeouts. This is minus 108. I have 1.1 unit on this one. I also took his 6+ strikeouts at plus 470 and threw half a unit on that one too. That one's probably trying to push the boundaries a little bit, but I just like his spot here. He's had a really weird career since his kind of double injury that he had. You know, he tore, I believe it was his Achilles, something in his leg. I can't remember now. I looked it up and then I forgot. And then the first day out of the boot, he retore it. So he lost basically 2 seasons to this injury, and it was really strange. And then since he came back from that injury, he just hasn't really been himself. But there has been kind of spurts of his old self in some of his starts. The main problem that he's had is he's only pitching like 1 or 2 innings half the time he goes out there. So obviously you're not going to strike out a bunch of guys if you're only pitching an inning or 2. But then in the other half of the starts that he has, you know, where he's pitching 4 or 5 innings, he's getting 5, 6, 7 strikeouts. So I think this is purely going to depend on how long he's in there for. And being that he's with a new team and this is his first start, I think they're going to leave him out there and see what he has. So I think this is going to be a better shot today than it would have been last year. Now, granted, he could get beat up and this just tanks, but I mean, it's betting. That's what we do with every bet that we place. So I think he's going to have a better shot today than people are going to think he does. And I think 4 is just too low of a number for a guy that's shown he has the stuff. He just hasn't really had the opportunities maybe. And then the last 2 is a couple parlays that I threw together that I like. The first one is Mets money line, Cubs money line parlay. That's plus 173. So I put a unit on that one. I just think both these teams have a great chance to win today. The pitching matchups are there, and obviously the hitting has been great for both these teams so far. The Mets need a win. They started the series with the Astros and kind of got beat up a little bit. So I think they kind of bounce back here in this one. And then the Cubs have just been hitting really well. So I think they have a great shot in this one too. And then the last one is a hit parlay, 4-leg hit parlay. It's plus 176. So I'm going to throw a unit on this one. These are just guys that I think have a really good shot at getting hits today, but I didn't want to go 2+ bases with them. So why not just throw them in a hit parlay together? It's Luis Ariz, who, like I said earlier, he's 0 for 12 so far on the season, but he's getting a ton of contact. Like last night, he went 0 for 4, but he got contact on all 4, and they just happened to go to Braves players. So I think he finally finds a hole in this one today. The next one is Steven Kwan, who just is pretty much always on base. He's a contact guy. Alec Boehm, he's really good against, who's the pitcher that they're going up against? German Marquez. He's really good against Marquez. I think he's got a great chance to get a hit today. And Bryce Harper, same reason as Alec Boehm. Great against German Marquez. Just all-around hitter anyway. So great spot there as well. Yeah, I'll say that one more time. Luis Ariz, Steven Kwan, Alec Boehm, Bryce Harper. Plus 176. Not terrible odds there. I was hoping to get like 2-1, but what can you do? Great bet though. I really like that bet. And now we will go into the home run parlays. Here is the lotto for the day. As always, 8-leg parlay, crazy odds. Throw like $1 on it, $2 on it, whatever you want to do. But these are basically my favorite 8 guys for home runs today. Carlos Correa, Tyler O'Neill, Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero. Yes, we're going back to Vladimir Guerrero. I know he has screwed me like 3 times now already on the season. I like his chances today against Soroka. Christian Walker, Kyle Tucker, and Shohei Ohtani. So those are the 8 favorites. If you want to water that down a little bit, obviously do it the way that you want. But, oh, yeah, and to Riley's point, Vladdy bobblehead day. So maybe he doesn't screw me like he has the last 3 days. Here's the 5-leg. Oh, let me turn this off. Ah, shit. Let me turn this off. There we go. Okay. Still getting used to this. So y'all cut me some slack. Here's the 5-leg, kind of watered down a little bit. Carlos Correa, Tyler O'Neill, Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto, and Vladimir Guerrero. Yes, he's in both of them. But yeah, these are my 5 favorites within the 8 favorites. So this is kind of the watered down version. Still really good odds. It's just not the kind of lotto that you're going to get with the 8-leg. And yeah, that does it for my plays today. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Make sure to like the video if you're still watching, or if you watch later, hit the like button. It really helps me out a lot. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Really trying to get to 100 subscribers on here. So that would really help me out a lot. Just click the button. It's free. Click the button. Yeah. Anyway, that does it for me. I will see y'all tomorrow.